All right, kind of start by telling us your name or who you go by, how old you are, where were you born and raised, and what kind of influence did you have in your family that kind of pushed you towards the military? Did you have parents in the military, grandparents, whatever? Just whatever you feel comfortable telling.
All right. So my name's Cody. What I go by everyday life. Um, as far as me joining the military, my grandpa he was he was in the Air Force, and he he did a very short stint. He joined the Air Force to keep from being drafted to the Army, and so I always pick him. He picked that back at me before he passed away, but he was my hero. Always will be. All this kind of stuff. But and to answer the question in the comments, I think I'm gonna answer that at the end. See how I feel about everything.
That's
Uh,
fine.
but anyway, I was working at a prison. I'd worked there for 8 or 9 months, give or take. And I woke up one morning and I said, I think I'm joining the Army today.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
And I went there and I told my grandparents we was eating breakfast, and I said, "Hey, I think I'm joining the Army today." And he said, "Okay, whatever." Or they didn't say it like that, but that was kind of the response I felt like I
Right.
was getting. And
Like, yeah, sure.
then, yeah.
I get it.
Well, that evening, when the recruiter showed up at their house, I was 21 years old, by the way. They did not have to talk to the recruiter,
Right.
but I told the recruiter, "You're going to talk to him, or I'm not going to join." Because my grandparents, like I said, were my heroes. But anyway, so I signed the paperwork at my grandparents' house on the dining room table. And to this day, it means more to me thinking back at that kind of stuff than technically, really and truly, it means more to me that my grandpa watched me sign them papers than me raising my right hand and swearing in. I know that might sound crazy to some
It
people,
does not. That's absolutely valid.
uh, but I grew up on a farm, not but old country boy, and I didn't care. I didn't want to leave my hometown, but I knew I needed to venture out because if I never ventured out, it was just I was going to be like everybody else and never experience anything.
Right.
Um, so I joined. I signed up. I was a 12 Charlie, which is a bridge crew member. I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, or Fort Lawson Woods, Missouri. Um, I did my basic in AIT. We had the same drill sergeants the whole time. Come to find out, they were not supposed to treat us exactly the way they did, but I'm glad they did because, well, the military's gotten softer and softer, and well, they need to be tougher. Um,
I
they
can agree with that.
they was not even as tough when I went in as they should have been. But I'm glad it went the way it did. But I went to Fort Knox as soon as I got out. I got basic training in February 2009. Oh, let me put this on the record for y'all. I went to basic training October 16th. I left AIT in February. I don't remember exact date. Got to my duty station uh,
What year?
2009.
Got you.
Um, I joined 2008, got to my duty station 2009.
Right.
Um, I we deployed August of that year,
Mhm.
so I barely got to know anybody in my unit. Which,
Big deal.
if if people knew me, uh, they would realize that I make friends quick anyway.
Clearly.
And so, in a way, it was great for me to deploy like that
Right.
because it only gave me a chance to know the fun side of them before bef- people's true colors come out, this and that, blah blah blah. Because when you're downrange, that stuff don't happen. I don't know civilians that watch this or whatever, people that don't understand it. Uh, you might bicker downrange, but there's no double crossing. There's always the love and support of each other.
Right. There's no reason to worry about what people in the comments say.
Oh, true.
If you see,
But
you're going to see people that talk shit. There's going to be, we've had several of those fucking Reddit trolls come through here talking about, 22 a day type shit. Just,
yeah, I got you.
you know,
But
them, my moderators will take care of it. We got really good moderators here. So,
I got you.
say your piece, man. You're safe.
But I enjoyed the time before we deployed, for the simple fact that it was well, it's my very first time out in the big cities. It was my very first time at any of that, and I got to meet people from all over the world. And me being an old country boy, it was amazing to me.
Right. It's a whole new world for you, brother. I
Yeah,
get it.
exactly. Like,
I told you where I used to live. I'm from Mississippi originally, and it's like I definitely understand that.
well, I did realize that most people that are in the military seems like they come from the South. Now,
Huge percentage.
now I will say this: some of my very best friends I made in the army was from up north, and to this day, like I can call them up and be like, "Hey, I need this," and I ain't talked to them in a year, and I know they got my back.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we deployed in August. The first month there, it was absolutely horrible. Or I wouldn't say month. The first 2 weeks, really, like getting off the plane, it felt like a radiator just blowing directly in your face. Um,
That heat in Afghanistan's
it's a whole different ball game.
it's undescribable.
Yeah.
Especially for us because that's a dry heat. We ain't used to that shit.
Exactly. But I will say this: like, it's easier than the humidity once you get accustomed to it.
It is easier, but there is a transitionary period there.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta get accustomed, but after that,
It's 120 degrees dry. It's like, man, them lungs get to fucking shit. I'm used to trying to breathe underwater out here. It's like I walk outside and I condense like a Coke can before I can start fucking sweating. You know what I mean?
we walk outside at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we got to change shirts by 8:15. We sweat it down. But we were in Kandahar. I enjoyed it there. Like,
Kandahar's a rough one, brother.
well, it was. We was in the base on Kandahar for the first little bit.
That was 2009.
2009.
It's
Now,
gotten a little better, but it was still that's
it was still.
it ain't Fallujah, but it's a rough one, brother.
Well,
That's
that
rough.
was we was only there for about the first month. We done some basic, or I say basic training, but like the training that when you first go overseas, you have to do, searching for IEDs, searching for this kind of stuff, and I hated it. I ain't gonna lie, that first little bit, because to me, I was like, this stuff I had just got basic training. I was like, we just learned. But you don't think of the people who's been in for a couple of years that have not went back through that training.
Right.
But then I was actually stationed at FOB Leatherneck, which is a Marine FOB.
Familiar.
And I cannot think of the two. Bastion, I think, is the other FOBs. I think it's like a British FOB that's over there.
I think there's a total of 6 within like a 25 square mile radius of there. So I think
these were connected.
We only have 2. There are other nations that have FOBs.
Yeah,
or have FOBs around that area.
They were Bastion 1 and 2. I believe it was Bastion. Anyway, they were connected to Leatherneck.
Right.
But I loved it over there. Now, because it gave us some competition. Of course, Marines talk shit to us. We talk shit back. They probably a little extra bickering than should have been, but it's a brotherhood. We're supposed to do
So
that.
you were into that type of shit.
Yeah. But anyway, I was the sergeant's driver. We built bridges of, like I said, I was a bridge crew member. But I remember I went on every mission. We were the very first Army bridge unit to go to Afghanistan. Funny story though, Fort Knox, where we were from, got it wrong and put a different battalion as the first bridge unit.
That sounds like Knox.
Yeah, put it right there in the museum for everybody.
Just chalk that up to a fucking grain of salt. You know?
Yeah. Appreciate you, buddy. But
Knox is a fucked up place to be deployed out of.
Extremely. But while I was there, my old drill sergeant become my new platoon sergeant, which that was strange.
Dude, that's like something out of a movie.
Dude, it was. I was like, what the fuck? It was my favorite drill sergeant. He was tough on us. Do not get me wrong, but he had the he had that good guy thing about him. He made sure that he told us, "You're fucking up, but this is what you're fucking up on, not just your."
And also, I love you. That's a sea daddy, is what the Navy would call that.
Okay, I never will forget.
That's war daddy, brother. That's what it is.
He let us go get socks, and we was like a month into basic training. He let us go get socks from the PX, and like it was like heaven on earth, just having some fresh socks to put on.
Not them fucking crusty feeling, damn rough, raggedy.
And you already wore them the hell out.
Hell yeah.
But I remember when he finally took over, I hadn't missed a mission that we went on the entire time. Well, our unit had gotten told that we had to put people on tower guard. It was our cycle to do it.
Right.
And we had 3 people we had to put on tower guard. Only one of them was working at that time. And the only way the second one would have to is if something happened to the first one.
Right.
Which means the third one was even further down the list, right? Both the other ones got in trouble, and I had to wind up missing one mission. And I fussed and fought over it, but of course I lost. But
new guy on the totem pole shit.
Yeah.
Or low guy on the totem pole, whatever you want to call it.
But anyway, I missed one mission. But when we go out on missions, they would replace me they'd replace me, put another person in there to be the driver, because of course it was the fun truck. I'll call it a fun truck. Somebody had to be driver and somebody had to sit up top.
Right.
Anyway, and I would have to go build a bridge and stuff of that nature.
You considered just sorry to interrupt, but were you considered a combat engineer? I've never.
I wouldn't say so, because like our job was not to go. Now there's a 12 Charlie and a what was theirs? 12 Bravo maybe, but we trained together in basic training. We went to basic training together in half of AIT. Well, then at half of AIT, they would go do explosive training, and we would go to bridge training.
Okay. I wasn't sure about the distinction. I've worked with a lot of y'all, but not.
And I could be wrong on their MOS. It's been a while. It wasn't my MOS.
Just a sidebar question. that was just for the next guy.
Your knowledge, but anyway, so I don't tell you a few of the missions. Like the longest mission we ever went on was 36 hours.
All right.
It was supposed to be 2 short missions, but it wound up. They felt more comfortable doing one long mission because our interpreter kept getting on their phone, and we didn't know what they were doing, and so we wound up working straight through the night and day, or the day and night after we got to it. And all we were taking out an old bridge. And
dismantling or like kind of
we literally took it apart.
Okay.
which
All right, now I
we've
know
been there
what
for
you.
years and years, and so it was a pain in the ass. But we took it apart, and the whole time we were doing it, there was a guy herding sheep who stayed on his phone more than he did his tending to his sheep. And
Yeah,
our
Taliban, brother.
um just throwing it out there, but and our interpreter was doing the same thing. And so we decided we was going to work straight through the night. And we took apart the entire bridge, and the fob was mile and a half from where that bridge was. Well, we get back to the fob. It was a different fob. It was not Leatherneck. Just to clarify, I do not recall the name of the fob. It was further up north.
Brother, it's fine.
Yeah. Um, but we get back to the fob. Go ahead.
For the civilians in here that are probably going to ask, FOB stands for Forward Operating Base. Just
Yes. But we get back to the fob, and I take off my helmet. I set it in the seat. I unstrap my vest, and as I go to lift it over my head, we feel an explosion. And come to find out, there was a trying to TikTok wording, a self unaliver with his car going boom.
mobile IED.
Yes. I go to thinking about TikTok words instead of.
Okay.
But anyway, they blew up right at the bridge site. If we would have went back out there that morning like originally planned, we would have been gone. Because when I went to take that vest off, we felt the impact from the explosion. Like it made us rock. It was still so strong. Um, that was, I would say, one of the scariest moments that almost directly happened to us because we were supposed to be. Um, one of the another, I want to say it was Fob Payne. I cannot recall exactly. But we had went down there. We were tending to some other stuff. Anyway, I got put on tower guard while we were down there, and one of the worst feelings that I've ever come through was they was a kid and I assume dad, a older man, always walked their sheep through that area. They had a donkey, but something happened. They called a bunch of rugs coming through on coming through that path, and so they blocked it off. Well, when the next day the kid come through without the older gentleman, and he had his sheep and everything, and he couldn't go through there. And the worst feeling in the world was I could not communicate with him that he's got to get the hell out of there.
Right.
Except for one language, and that was pointing a weapon in their direction. And
It's also, coming from where you come from, and I'm from Mississippi too. Like we probably both worked on farms in our early life. We was no different than him.
exactly, like it, slightly different job, but it was the same concept.
Yeah, we couldn't
And
imagine.
and me not being able to communicate with him just really screwed with me. But he did eventually listen. We had already even called it in, and we already had permission to do what we had to do
Right.
because he was over there with his hands on the Constantine wire and the blockade. But that was probably the worst feeling.
I understand.
Now, the third thing that the third mission I'm gonna bring up was we were uh, going into Marja, which at the time was supposed to be the Taliban's last stronghold. Um, that is, we went to come into it, and they had, I can't remember if it was 5 or 6 huge 400, 500 pound bombs daisy chained together. Daisy chained together, for everybody who don't know, means that if one goes off, they all go off.
And it's also in sequence, and they'll have them
Yes.
spread out over an area. So it's a and they use old fucking like Russian fucking warhead style
Man,
munitions. It is a
yeah,
devastating thing for some asshole to fucking put together with fucking speaker wire and a transmitter
it
or
really is.
something. Sorry.
Uh, but like as we were pushing into it, right as we found out about that, I watched another MRAP. I did not know the people. It was a whole different uh, crew coming in because in Marja there was only one path in to Marja, so everybody was trying to come in from a certain direction. Our job was we were building a bridge to come in from the side. That way they had 2 paths to get in. But I watched a MRAP from another crew do a complete somersault, and all I can do is remember, like, holy shit, I can't believe. Because like I'd heard of stuff like that happening, but like when you actually see it happening, it's a whole different ball game. And I don't
It
know
takes
if it's
it takes some ordnance to flip an MRAP. Like they're for those of y'all that don't know, that's a motherfucker of a truck.
like my MRAP was 40,000 pounds, and he was,
They vary. There's
yeah, but like
different
his
variants, but they're
his
heavy.
was a lot bigger than mine. That's all I'm gonna say. Like the one I watched do a somersault was a
Yeah,
huge,
that's a
lot
that's a
bigger.
honky talking ass truck. Like this is
Yeah,
not a this ain't no regular roadside IED. That's ordnance.
yeah, it was a beast. But anyway, so right after that happened, they found it. Like at the same time, they found that they had the daisy chain bombs together, and we everybody was told to halt. So everybody halted. We wound up sleeping in different circles. Every unit had different circles out there overnight, and then we went back into it the next day. Um, so of course we're not having any sleep. Even if you was allowed to sleep, you didn't sleep because
Yeah,
location.
valid.
Um, but it wound up the next day. The mission went easily. Well, for us anyway. I'm not overall. Uh, I can't say, but like for our side, it went easily. We conducted everything smoothly. The It was, I don't know. That was probably one of the scare should have been the scariest part. One of the scariest moments in my time, but I don't know if it's because the army just completely made me. Mm, what's the word I'm looking for? Not really even value my life per se. Like, cause like I didn't care. Like it was, oh shit, that sucks. It was not a, oh fuck, like I'm terrified. If that makes sense.
It does.
But that was probably the 3 worst things that happened to me. Um,
Do you
now,
mind if
yeah,
not to do you mind if we switch gears a little bit? I
yeah,
don't
go
want
ahead.
it to kind of get into a place where you don't feel comfortable. So
Well, and you're fine. But I don't. I was going to mention one more thing. I want to
go ahead,
tell.
brother. Brother,
Um,
it's all up to you. I just would
yeah, yeah. I just,
I have questions where I can kind of like pull you back if you get
well,
if I
this
start to
one,
see that you're getting bothered. But
this
it's
one
all
is.
up to you. If you're fine, by all means, tell.
I don't want to go much further, but I do want to tell about how I got my TBI. We were driving through, and we seen a pile of rocks with some wires coming out of it, and going through the desert. Um, my platoon sergeant saw it first. He told me to steer to the left, and when I did, my gunner didn't even see it, but there was a ditch. We halfway jumped the ditch. My back tires hit into the ditch, and my gunner was beat the hell and back. My helmet straps broke, which I'll take blame for. I didn't replace them. I guess they had dry rotted. But I bounced my head off the roof of the ceiling. Uh, I know that my platoon sergeant said that he got tested later on, and he had lost like an eighth of an inch from the. But I got knocked out during the process. When I come back to, my platoon sergeant was driving over the radios, and I had my foot all the way down on the gas, completely unconscious. We were going in the wrong direction from the rest of our convoy. And but when I come back to, I grabbed hold of the steering wheel, and if we wouldn't have been wearing the same clothes, I wouldn't have trusted him at all because I didn't know who he was.
Right.
It was about 6 minutes before I realized who anybody was. But like we got back to base, but for I don't know, it's probably about 3 days. I felt like I was recovering from a hangover, kind of like I was in a daze. I was remembering more stuff, but I didn't. It was I just felt out of it, if that makes sense.
Definitely makes sense.
I never went and got checked. We got back to stateside before I ever got checked. As a matter of fact, I'd started my med board for my heart by the time I got checked, and they found out that I had a TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. But so my memory is still shot. Like if I want to remember something like into detail or whatever, like I'll have to sit there and say your name 100 times to myself for me to remember it. And so it's caused me trouble when I first got back, especially because I'd walk through and undoubtedly I was mean mugging people, but I wasn't trying to mean mug them. I was trying to figure out how I knew them. Like their face would look familiar.
Concentration phase, I get it.
Yeah. But that's what really like started my decline in the military. I was supposed to go for the promotion board. I was supposed to go for my E5 promotion board at that time. They pulled all that back because I was not able to function. I didn't know. I didn't know the soldier's creed at that point. And anybody that was in the military knows that whatever creed you have, that they push it from day one. And it put me in a bad mood. I'm gonna say pretty much the rest of my military career. But that was the start of my bedtime. All right, so you got any question?
Brother, at this point, we're on question 7.
Okay.
You got time?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's keep going.
So, I appreciate you sharing all that and everything. You know,
Yes, sir.
I don't want to take away from it. At this point, I think it might be a good idea to kind of shift gears to more of you know, maybe a little lighter stuff. I kind of
Definitely.
I don't know if you're gonna take offense to it, but I can see, you know, kind of your.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're fine. You're fine.
I mean, brother, You're never gonna tell me anything that's gonna rattle me. I'm in a unique position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can speak as much as you want, but I do kind of feel like maybe we should kind of go back to some of the good times with the boys for a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, definitely.
You know,
And like I think part of my problem is even with my therapist, I don't talk about it because I don't feel she has a connection.
I understand, brother. I've heard all. You know what I mean? I had a really wild career. I served with many different branches, many different Marine Corps
That's
expeditions.
the best part.
You know,
I ain't gonna lie.
there's nothing you can tell me anything, but I
Yeah,
also don't want to put you in a bad place or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So let's kind of shift gears a little bit and kind of talk about um, what do you. This can be from from training. This can be from boot camp, whatever. What is your most memorable experience? Like which one sticks out to you? You know that one that shining light that you kind of go back to in on your darkest days. Like what's that memory? How did that look? You know.
All right. Well, I'll tell you two from basic training, and both of them are just because I made it. All right, because I'm terrified of heights, and I'm a fat farm kid from South Georgia.
I
All right,
understand.
so for one,
Boy, gang.
when we went to do our training or whatever, I don't know if y'all had to do it, but we had to do this ladder called Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
This ladder is extremely tall. It's not a regular ladder. It's just four
It's a
by
ring
four. But anyway, we had to climb all the way up at crossover. And my platoon sergeant was up top shaking the thing back and forth, blah, blah, blah. You're not strapped in. You're not anything of that nature. You're just climbing. And he was sitting there yelling, well, it don't matter if he gets to the top or not. He can't cross over, so he can't pass because he won't look down. And a little bit of my smart assness, I climbed up there. I sat straight across from him, never looked down, looked him dead in the eyes, and I said, I'll see you on the other side. And I crawled down. And you could tell he was mad because he started shaking that thing more and more as I was trying to come down. But it was one of the defining moments for me because I wasn't letting that fear stop me from completing the task.
Hell yeah.
Another thing, the reason I mentioned me being a fat farm kid, when I finally passed the running part of the PT test, I'm not gonna lie, running is not my strong suit, never has, never will be.
Hello, homie.
But I wound up beating it by just over a minute, which was extremely good for me because I had went from I was just outside of the range to I beat it by a minute. Now, I did use somebody that was just a little faster than me as a pacer,
Of course.
but that day it felt like the coldest day I'd ever dealt with. It was like everything would just freeze to your face, any liquid you had. I'm gonna put it like that, but it was disgusting. But it made you made it
One.
moment. Yeah. Um, After I got to my duty station, the very first weekend I went out with my unit, I had to beat our DD. And now this is a long story, but it's a funny one, and it's well worth the time. I'd never drove that big city. And they said, well, you got to drive us through the bar. Since you're the new guy, you got to earn your keep. I said, I don't give a shit, whatever. So I took, I ain't going to tell their actual names, but I took two of the senior E4s, and, well, his E4 too, but his doc.
Right.
We went out to the bar. I was getting lost on the way there, lost on the way back. But the whole time I was there, I got me a Sprite. You're fine. I got a Sprite, and I made it look like I was drinking a drink, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, I had a phone call. But as I'm on the way back was where it really got interesting. One of the E4s, the owner of the vehicle, we come up to a roadblock, and they were checking for DUIs, and the owner of the vehicle was riding shotgun. He starts throwing up outside the car, and we're like three. We're like 3 cars back from being up at the roadblock itself.
Right.
As he's throwing up outside the car, he winds up falling out of the car.
Nice.
Yes, and like I said, this is my very first weekend in the unit. I barely know these people's name,
Right.
And the cop comes walking back there, and he's looking at me. He said, "What in the world?" He said, "What's going on?" Somebody keeps calling, but
Hey, dude,
he said, "What?"
you can stop and take a phone call. I can edit this out if you need to.
It's fine.
Okay.
They're just being pushy,
Gotcha.
but he falls out of the car. The cop comes walking up, and he said, "What's going on back here?" I said, "I took these guys out, to the bar. I'm okay. They're okay. Let's just give me a minute. I'll get them back in. Get him back in the car." And that particular E4 jumps up and says, "Fuck you, pig. Just dogs you got badge don't make you cool." And at this point, I'm up shit creek. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. And I'm sitting there, officer, I'm sorry, just let me deal with him. I promise you I'll take care of it, blah blah blah. I'm just trying to explain my way out of this.
Right.
And I said, "Can I get out of the car and come around there and get him in the car?" He said, "Yeah." So I get him out of the car and I come around there and I put him in the car. Well, the whole time he's still cussing at the cop. And as I go to get back in the car, the officer was like, "Well, you sound drunk yourself." I said, "Sir, I'm from South Georgia. This is just the way I talk." And I was trying to be just as polite as I could be. But he did not want to believe me. So I had to take a breathalyzer, which I didn't mind. I blew zeros. Well, as I went to get back into the car, the same guy's still cussing at the cop, and he refused him to put on his seatbelt.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. And the officer said, "You're not leaving until he's buckled up." I was, "Oh shit," because
Yeah. Cube.
hard enough to deal with. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I said, "Officer, just look right there real quick." And he turned his head, and I jacked my buddy. I ain't gonna lie, I jacked him right in the jaw. I grabbed the seatbelt and I buckled him up, and he's over there like this, And he said, "You're good to go." I said, "All right." And so as I go on forward, we're not very far from the base, and one of them in the back, Doc is sitting behind me, another E4 sitting behind the passenger seat, and the guy, he's the most sober one, the other E4, and he said, "You gotta have IDs to get in the base." I was like, "Oh shit, okay, I gotta do that." And by this time, the other dude was waking up anyway. Like he'd already been awake. He was already getting grouchy again, and he didn't know what had happened. I don't think he ever found out. But anyway, so I finally get all the IDs together, and I go to pull on forward, and I'm like half a mile from the gate. Drunk guy beside me slaps IDs. They all fly everywhere into the car, between the seats and everything. And I'm like, "Well, shit." So I pull over on the side of the road, and we're right there on like a steep hill. Right, the ditch is like steep as hell. And as I'm trying to get all the stuff back together, Doc says, "I got pee." I said, "Get out and pee. No big deal, whatever." He gets out and he starts peeing, and that good drunk piss. And he's, "Oh." Well, as I get the IDs back together, I realize I ain't heard Doc anymore. And I look over there and I said, "Where's Doc?" He said, "There's more sober drunk guy says, 'Oh, he fell down the hill a few minutes ago.'"
You didn't think that?
You didn't think you need to tell me this?
That's not critical need to know fucking information or anything. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
So I take the IDs and I stick them in my pocket because I don't want them to get lost again.
Right.
And I look down there and all I can see, and he's a heavier set. He's probably about the size I am now. Like he's a heavier set dude.
Yeah.
And I look down there and I said, "Shit, yeah. I don't know. He's not making it up there."
Right.
So I crawl down there and like I lean up against the hill and he's crawling up my knee, crawling up my body to get up there. Well, I get him to the top of the hill and I make my way back up there and he's standing there and I realize he's off balance and he says, "I lost my shoe." I said, "Well, we'll come back tomorrow and get it." Because I look down and he's wearing a black shoe.
Oh, great.
And he said, "No, I'm going back down to get it." And I said, "No, you stay up here. I'll go back and find it." And I don't know how in the world I done it, but when I jumped back down the ditch, I landed on his shoe. It could have never been more perfect. But I take that shoe and I just chunk it up there to the top of the hill. Well, I'm trying to get back up the hill, and it's a lot slicker this time because as much as we went, mess with it.
Right.
As I try to get back up to the top of the hill, I stick my head up over the side of the hill and I can just see him. He's in the middle of the road with his shoe just bouncing up and down on one foot trying to put his shoe back on. And if somebody comes, they're going to hit him because it's just bound to happen.
Right.
So I said, "Man, just sit down in the car seat and put your shoe on. Like, it'll make it easier." He said, "No, I got it." And he just jumped around, and I grab that shoe, and I snatch it from him, and I throw it into the back seat, and it goes on the other side of the more sober E4 and the seat. He dives in head first. His head is in old dude's lap. I slammed the door.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. He wasn't buckled up.
Just lock him in there.
I ain't give, and like I was just going to have to deal with it when I'm at the gate. And I can grab them IDs out, and I pull up there that ID. Old dude's head still in the other dude's lap, and the gate guard guy says, "What's going on?" I said, "I took him out drinking." He said, "What's going on back there?" And I said, "Don't ask, don't tell is what I've heard the motto is." And I reached back up and I grabbed IDs, and he said, "You're free to go." So I pulled back up at the barracks. And we stayed on the third floor, and the more sober drunk E4 helped get the driver upstairs, and I got Doc, and I was trying to get him upstairs. And we finally got upstairs, and the more sober guy did not have a vehicle, but as we went to put him to bed, he said, "I owe you some whiskey." Like, dealing with all that, I owe you, or we owe you, but I don't do it. And so that's how I got my very first bottle of Crown from somebody in the Army.
Hell yeah.
But we had illegal. But when we went to put the donor of the vehicle to bed, we unlocked his door as we went to go out. We waited 5 minutes. He passed out. We went back in, took his keys, went to the shopette and got me a bottle of Crown. That's the very first time I ever got a bottle from buddy in the military. But that was another one of the moments where, like, I got a pat on the back, not only that night, but the next day, the other guys was like, "Dude, I don't remember everything, but I got filled in, and we appreciate you."
Right.
But, like, it's another one of the moments where, like, I went through the shit and made it out.
That's a good damn story, man.
I do. I really think that if me and a couple buddies would get together, we could write mini stories and sell them as a book.
I'd read that.
Dude, we could make millions. I'm sure, like, you could throw some of your stories in. You just have to only limit it. That way, the book wouldn't be 1 billion pages long.
Right.
But
I'd definitely be willing to do that.
I think we could. I think it'd be a great idea. And you sell the book, and then you could do, like, I don't know, 20% of the money goes to veterans. I don't know. Anyway,
that's kind of the next steps with this. So, like I said, we travel in the good riding season and interview vets in person. We actually just got donated a motorcycle that we're either gonna fix it and sell it and then donate the money to a disabled veteran, or we're gonna donate the bike to a disabled veteran, or we're gonna keep it and put a sidecar on it and take it around the country with us and ride disabled veterans and disabled children on
I
it.
think that would be an outstanding idea. Like, I've never been a motorcycle guy. I love motorcycles, but I know I'm an idiot. Um,
It's a it's something.
you get what I'm saying? But like the people who used to be able to ride and can't ride no more,
Yeah,
I know the sidecar is not riding a bike, in a lot of people's eyes, but
but
it
it's
would
close.
still give them that feeling that like they used to be able to have and they can't do no more.
Yep.
I think that would be a jam up idea. You'd make less money off of it, but it'd make more meaningful
Well, we don't take
to
any
more
profit
people.
off of this, so this is
I
all.
know. I'm talking about like even for you to donate. What I'm saying though is like you're talking about donating the bike or donating the money to a veteran. I think you'd make less money off of it to donate, but
You get more
you
out
go.
of it.
Yeah,
That's the same thing.
longer term effect.
Plus, we don't really know like the legalities of a motorcycle giveaway.
Oh yeah, I'm Uncle Sam would definitely go for you.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, is it? I don't want them to have to pay taxes on it. Shit like that. Plus, if they fuck up and wreck, and then their family comes after us, it's like, you know, it's just a
Very
lot of
safe control.
liability. But
Yeah,
we're
very
gonna
safe
figure this
control.
out. But um, what's one thing you think that civilians either don't or can't understand about being in the service?
All right, that you can be mean as shit to each other and still love each other to death. Like I will sit there and look at you and say you're a dumb son of a bitch, and then go behind your back and tell old dude, old girl, whatever, dude, that's a really good dude. You need to be friends with him.
That's typically the answer I get. Is it's always something related to the camaraderie that we have.
But I also don't think that civilians, for the most part, understand that we're harsher sounding than what we are.
I'd agree.
Like our, in a sense, we're trained to use our voice in a different way to get points across, and it don't mean that we're mad or anything. It just means that we're trained to use our voice to stun you for me to say my piece.
It's
Uh,
concise communication.
yeah. Um, and just because we sound irritated or whatever does not mean we are.
Right.
Like we go through different processes in civilians, I believe.
That's good. I
And
like
I
that.
think part of it is the military takes it away from us. Like I don't think we're ever get it back.
No, definitely not.
I like at your time frame getting out of the military, I was thinking, okay, this will wear off over time.
Right.
Well, I've been out for what is it, 17 years? No, not that long, but
Well,
too damn long, like 12 years. I've been out for 12 years and it ain't went away yet. So
it's here.
what now?
I said it's here to stay.
Yeah, yeah. It's like this damn kidney stone. I'll give you eviction notice. It won't go away.
Yeah, it just won't go. It just won't fucking go. All right,
But
so we're gonna shift gears again, and this is
all
the
right,
third part of the interview. So we're gonna talk about kind of like your transition out. You
all
had
right,
you had a unique experience, so I'd like to hear it. So, when and why did you leave the military?
all right. So I don't remember exactly the month, but I was walking through. I was ground guiding a CBT, which for the people who don't know, it means like when you're in certain areas, you have to walk in front of a vehicle to guide the vehicle to where it needs to be parked. Well, as I was walking through the motor pool ground guiding, my heart rate jumped up. It just so happened to be in front of our office building, and my NCO used to be a medic, and he looked down at me and he could see something was wrong because I started kind of stumbling through, and I waved at. I have no clue to this day who he was. I don't think he is in our unit. I don't. At the point, I didn't care, but I waved him down, and he come over, and I said, "You got to ground this vehicle," and I stumbled into the building. And by the time before I could make it to the building, that NCO had made it downstairs, and he was there trying to catch me because he could see I was just going down more and more. And like they was watching my jacket and everything just bounce from my heart rate. They I remember they took my top off and they loosened my boots, and they called for our aid station to come to me. Well, when they got to me, they caught my heart rate at 253. Um, they had me. They laid me down for 30 minutes to an hour max. Sent me right back to work. Right after I got my heart rate under control. As I come back, this is my first time where I just refused to do what they told me to do. Because when I come back, my platoon had got in trouble, and they told me to join them.
Right.
And like most people, I wasn't even here. I'm not doing. No, that wasn't why I wasn't doing it. Whenever my heart rate jumped up like that, I felt like I had just run, 10 miles. Like I was done. Like, yeah. Anyway, so they tried to get me in trouble. One of the NCOs was being a smartass and tried to get me in trouble. Luckily, the NCO who had caught me, talked some sense into everybody, and I never got in trouble. But I never was looked at the same. But I didn't know it at the time. But they had already sent my paper. They had started to send my paperwork in because of my heart rate being so high. And within like 2 weeks, I'd start my med board process. But that was my very first time just being a complete, I'm gonna say crap soldier, refusing anything they even said. But that I don't know the month. I don't remember anything of that nature. But that's when I started my med board process. It wound up. I finally left the military on October 14th. My actual ETS date though was December 11th. I had that much time built up or saved up before I was actually out of the military.
What's up, Wheels? That's the that guy I was talking about. We did an interview with earlier.
Oh, really?
Follow and go look at some of his stuff. He's awesome. That's my hero now. So, what do you think the hardest part of leaving the service behind was?
The camaraderie, 110%. Even the people you didn't like, you could still count on them.
Yeah, that was still my brother.
Yeah, you might want to punch him in the throat that night, but the next day, like, where's he at, man? He's all right.
Right.
I never will forget. I'm completely my fault, my situation. Thank you, Miss K. I was drunk. Somebody said something. I was a complete asshole back, and I got the hell beat out of me. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like, yeah. And it was one of my buddies. He was from the other platoon, but he beat the shit out of me. And I remember everybody bragged on me the next day, though, not because I done anything to defend myself, because I was too out of it to do so. But every time he had hit me, I'd call him a baby. He couldn't hit worth crap. His sister could hit me harder. Like, I had some type of remark for every time he hit me. My head would bounce off the concrete.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, like. But the next day, I didn't even, like, I woke up late, of course, because I was drunk, got the hell beat out of me. And so I rushed out the door without ever even looking at myself, and I was black and blue. My whole face was swollen. I showed up to formation. They started asking questions, of course. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I did fall down the stairs yesterday, but it ain't that bad.
Right.
I was still half drunk. I wasn't feeling the pain completely yet.
Right. That's a good answer.
But all day long, I swore up and down, I fell down the stairs. Well, at the end of the day, the first sergeant and commander called me and him both in there, showed us the cameras from our barracks, what had happened, like showed us everything. I said, wasn't me. I fell down the stairs. And he said, I appreciate what you're doing. Y'all don't do this again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of, I deserved it. I'm not sure if I deserved that much, but I deserved something, you know?
Yeah, you deserve something. I understand that.
Yeah. But it earned more respect all the way around because, hey, our soldiers got each other's back, no matter how it goes.
Absolutely. So, how long do we never fully reintegrate into society. There's always that
Never.
aspect that we're not who we were when we left, and
No, never.
we may mourn the person that we were. I don't think any of us would ever change.
We don't want to go back, but we would like to see pieces of who we left.
Right. There's that familiarity aspect. So, what do you think? How long do you think it really? How long do you think it took you to adjust enough to kind of live back in society again?
To be able to function back in society,
Yeah. To
I would,
not, like I said, we never fully reintegrate. But how long
yeah.
did it take you to get to that point where it's like, all right, I can go out and I don't have to, I don't have to like worry anymore.
That's a tough one because there's still parts of me that I still, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not just talking about minor parts. Like, I still have to sit at certain places in a restaurant. I still have to, like, I have my security areas and don't don't even try to change it if that makes sense. Um, I've got a local fast food restaurant here in my town. Like, if somebody's sitting in my seat when I get there, they will stall giving me my food because they know that if I say anywhere else, they'll watch me just like I'm,
All over the place. Can't.
yeah, like I can't function. Um, but like, and they got some people that will go set that spot to keep other people from getting there when they know I'm coming. Like it's crazy, but
That's cool though.
it really is. And now the manager that worked there just left, and so I don't know if it's going to continue that way for me. But
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully. Um, but I don't know. When I first got back, I went out with some buddies drinking, and I refused to even drink because well, it'd been a while since I drank in a bar anyway. But for two, like I had two buddies there with me versus when we go out before, half the bar would be your unit, your unit all went out together and stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I still don't trust people. Hell, I don't even trust myself. Um, so I'd say at least a year before I ever like felt comfortable enough to just let my shoulders down per se. Uh, but like I said, there's still days where I feel like I'm day one getting out.
Well, I can tell you off that answer, that's pretty good. Typically, what I hear is somewhere between 4 and 7 years before like people kind of get comfortable, kind of reintegrating. I've only been out for 2, and I am supremely uncomfortable in public. So,
I mean, and I feel uncomfortable, but and how can I put this? Have you? All right, so I'm sure you got body pain.
mm,
All right. Well, when I go to the VA or whatever, and they ask you on a scale of 1 to 10 how you feel, uh, I never, I don't even include the normal pain. I only include if I got new pain.
well,
If that
see,
makes sense. What I'm saying though is like you get so accustomed to feeling this way that it's not you're feeling that way anymore. That's just your normal way.
well, brother, the normal amount of pain people feel in a day is 0. So,
But you go what I'm
Yeah,
saying, like
I get it.
you get so accustomed to something that
Yeah.
it's not anything.
This is life. There's no cure for this. I understand. Absolutely understand. But just kind of wanted to, slip that in there. The normal amount of pain is zero for most people. So
Yeah,
I
that'd be
I
nice.
get it though. I get it. So when you got out, was you so you were medically retired. So
Yes.
your VA process was probably pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Did
All
you
right.
use the
So
GI Bill?
I did use the GI Bill for a little bit. I was dumb and used it on something that physically I could not do.
Understand?
I wish I would have thought of that when I was doing it, but of course, like you're not want if you're an active person, you don't want to sit there and say, "Well, I can't do that physically no more."
Right.
But like I used it for HVAC, and then I got reminded you got to crawl in basements, you got to crawl in attics, and I'm like, my knees,
I got
my
that.
knees are back and
I
do
got
that
that
no
HVAC license too, brother. I actually understand more than you think.
more.
I'm universally certified, also. Yeah, them crawl spaces is they not letting
They're not nothing to joke
tell
about.
you that. Yeah, they
Um,
don't.
but when I first got out, I was at 70%. Through the years, we fought and got it up to 100%. I've learned that you cannot count on the VA.
No.
They will show you a room, and then the next day the room's gone or the people ain't there no more. Uh, like you just the your local veteran that will get nothing out of it is the one that will help you the most,
Yep.
and that's sad.
So, we were talking about VSOs in the last live, and I'm going to send you the contact information for your closest one. More kind of to help your current situation because like I said, you're already 100%, so there's no issue there. But as far as like your evaluations goes, they would know, kind of next steps.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to send you that information tonight. But honestly, brother, I got really one more question, and then the final thoughts deal. I'll explain that in just a moment. So, looking back, how do you think your military service shaped who you are today? It can be negative, positive. How did the Army make you?
All right. So I think the Army overall or in a way mentally made me a lot better person. I think that it brings a man out of a man out of a boy. It brings a woman out of a girl. Um, like I was already raised with some military style people, being my stepdad, my grandpa, stuff of that nature. But it's a whole different feeling when when you're actually doing it yourself. I'd already had good work ethic, but they put a whole different ethic to you.
Right.
I would not take away my military time at all. Um, I would not trade in any of the memories I've made, or even the memories I can't remember. I still want them all.
I have
I
had a
think,
few that kind of that regretted joining, and it. I love hearing when we don't. You know.
there's things at every job that you hate,
Oh yeah.
but you gotta look at them positives. Like we was talking about in the last live, I try not to be on the negative side very often at all. Of course, we all have them days, but like I always try to remember the good times. Like even with Alicia passing away when I was 18 years old, I still try to just think of the good times and how her family actually had come together so much more because of her passing. It means a lot to me. To this day, if I call them up, her nieces and nephews call me uncle. It's Means the world to me. Um, that was 20 years ago. Um, I don't know. I think that I'm also a firm believer in you got to have bad in your life because if
That's
you
what
don't
we
have
do.
bad, you don't have good.
Exactly. They won't. You won't appreciate the good without the bad. I understand that.
Exactly. If you don't have bad, then everything's just normal.
Mhm.
And so I enjoy the bad, even not maybe not at the moment, but later on, I enjoy it.
We'll laugh at it
Uh,
later.
Hat fishers.
What's a hat fisher?
Yeah, I'm confused on that one too, Sierra.
I'll edit that out. Don't worry about it. So, brother, the
But we
last.
do want to.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. It's fine. So, brother, like the last question I kind of have for you is, so we can split this up into four parts, right? You can pick one, you can do them all, you can do one for each, I don't care. If you had any advice to give someone joining the military, someone in the military, someone getting out of the military, and or a veteran struggling, what would you say to them? You can do all four, you can do one, you can pick one, I don't care. But
All right. So, first one, I don't pick on you 110%, but don't join the Army or the Marines. Join the Air Force or the Navy. Look at their job and make sure it's a job when you get out you can go straight to work.
mm,
I used this example to somebody the other day. Nobody really wants to be a plumber. Do not get me wrong. It's a shitty situation, but
I get it. I get it now.
but anyway, but like look at that job because when you walk out of the military, you can go straight into work and make money. Now, if you stay in the military your entire time, awesome. Like if you retire from the military as a plumber, awesome. But when you if you go in as a bridge crew member and you're building steel bridges, you're not going to build bridges the same way on the outside. Look at that kind of stuff.
Mm,
Um, Part two to that: don't join the military with a brand new president unless you're just all gung ho. Give it some time. Let see what type of president you have.
That's fuck. That's so good.
Um,
Fuck, that's good.
that way, you can kind of figure out if you're going to be in war, if you're not going to be in war, if you're going to have that kind of lifestyle. If the president's going to make sure you're taken care of, not taken care of. Um, and this one goes for every.
I get it.
This goes for every step of this. Next one goes for every step of everything. Document everything.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
Don't rely on the military to document. You document.
Love me buying.
You get the paperwork from them as you walk out. Put it in a folder. We used to do this thing called "I Love Me" book.
Love you binders. Love you binders. Absolutely.
Keep all that shit. Love that shit. I'm talking about when you mess up your knee at least a little bit. Have that paperwork in there, like all that kind of stuff. I did too. Or technically, right
You
before.
left under Obama.
Yeah, I was smart enough to get out there too.
Yeah, I came in under Obama.
Well, I joined in October. He come in what?
November.
Yeah, like he come in right after. Don't do it like that, for God's sake. Wait till elections are over.
I came in 2013 October.
But when you're in, try to be as adult-like as you can possibly be. Don't spend all your time, doing the fun, like because it's not worth it in the long run.
Right.
Like enjoy yourself. Do not get me wrong, but
That's not what it's all
don't
about.
be crazy. Yeah.
And now
Let's see.
struggling veterans.
Yeah, struggling veterans. yes, go to the VA, but lean on your other veterans more than you do the VA. They're going to be there for you a lot more. Even the veterans that work there, they're nothing against them. Not trying to knock them by no means, but a lot of times they are trained the same way we're trained in the military. They're trained by the VA system to do certain processes, and sometimes most of the time, that's not the best process for us.
Right.
Love on each other, be ready to be called asshole to your face, and
Yeah,
done
brace yourself. It's a
before you
wild
turn your
ride.
back. Yeah. Uh,
It is a wild ride.
yes, and
All right. Hey, man, you got anything else you want to touch on?
um,
Anything speaking to you? What do you want to say? This is like the unguided part. You can go back and tell some more stories. You can do this is your part, you know.
yeah, and yes, don't be afraid to go to medical. But like I said, document everything while you're out. It don't matter. Document everything. I'll tell you a story, real quick story about the VA, how it failed my stepdad. Uh, I think it was kidney failure. I didn't get to exactly see the paperwork, but his he wasn't my stepdad when he passed away. He already been remarried for 20 years or whatever, but he'll always be my stepdad. But back in 2018, they found that he had the start of kidney failure. They never told him about it. And he passed away a year and a half, 2 years ago now. Uh, from kidney failure.
Sorry for your
So
loss, by the way.
I appreciate it. But like that's what I'm saying. Keep up with your own documents. Never just go off of anything government related. Make sure you're taking care of yourself before you think anybody else will. Um, I was trying to think. I think that's about it, man. I can think of right off the top of my head.
Hey, brother, it's been a great interview, man.
Yes, sir.
You're more than welcome to hang around. I don't have anybody in the queue to do another interview, and y'all more than welcome. We're gonna kind of open the boxes up to, you know, have like a more of a regular live type of experience. If you want to stick around, all for it. If you need to go, I understand. I do need to ask though, is me posting this something you want, or would you like?
I'm okay with it. If you don't mind, before you post it, just let me see it.
Oh yeah,
'Cause,
I can clip it.
yeah, and I'm sure you do that anyway. But I give you consent. Yes.
Sweet, yeah. So I'll clip. I can do it one of two ways. I can clip sections of it. I can put it because we've been here for what hour and some change ish.
Oh damn.
So
I
I
didn't
can
realize
clip
it was that
this
long.
into like 2 minute sections, like I do some of them. It kind of gets more. It's a little more labor intensive, but I ain't got fuck all else going on anyway. But it's more of a. It's going to get it out there. Nobody's going to watch it. I can post as long of a TikTok as I can post the whole thing.
You're not gonna watch the whole thing.
Yeah, they won't watch it. So.
But I have the same issue. But
Yeah, right.
I
So